With such intricacies and oddities, being typed with the INFJ personality type can serve to be even more confusing than being diagnosed with a mental illness. With such similarities to certain mood disorders, anxieties, and depersonalization, it's not unusual for the INFJ themselves to question whether or not their experiences have to do with something other than their personality type. Welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Disclaimer: this information is not to be used to diagnose or treat any form of health problem or disease. Those seeking personal mental health advice should consult their physician. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. INFJs have a difficult time expressing their true selves. The INFJ personality type is notorious for their reserved and private approach to life. They not only prefer to keep to themselves, but they actually have a considerably difficult time when it comes to expressing who they really are. Some of this can be blamed on their extroverted feeling function that causes them to feel more connected and understanding of others' feelings than their own. However, there's also an aspect of not knowing how to portray their thoughts and ideas in a way that others would understand. While of course, this isn't anything to feel ashamed or embarrassed about, it can be quite the confusing ongoing experience without realizing it's just a part of being an INFJ. In fact, some people with this type may even mistake it for some form of anxiety disorder, depressive disconnection to themselves, or alexithymia. According to healthline.com, having alexithymia can make it hard for you to express or identify your emotions, with an average of 1 in 10 people experiencing it on a daily basis. Number 2. Heightened sensitivity can be confusing. Speaking of extroverted feeling, the INFJ personality type has a certain level of sensitivity to those in their surroundings that allow them this accurate view into how they're feeling. But that's not all. For this empathetic personality type, it's a combination of all 4 of their cognitive functions that ultimately causes them to have such a heightened sense of reality. Nothing goes past this type. They see and feel everything around them through their constant subconscious analysis. For them, it's second nature, hardly to even be noticed. However, when they explain certain precautions to others, such as the need to recharge, the disinterest in high stimuli environments, and the distraction that comes when they're around someone is distress, it's often misinterpreted as nothing other than an anxiety disorder of some form. In fact, their sensitivity to outer stimuli can and does very well trigger some INFJs to experience anxious feelings. So in other words, if you have anxiety as an INFJ, you can officially blame it on your personality type. Number 3. Predicting what's to come can make them seem unrealistic. With their introverted intuition and introverted thinking functions managing their every idea, the INFJ often experiences some pretty far-fetched lines of thinking. Future-focused with the ability to predict outcomes with uncanny precision, the INFJ is constantly analyzing information to predict what comes next. Over the years, INFJs learn to trust this intuitive and analytical observation, no matter how crazy their predictions may seem. However, from an outside view, these findings seem anything but trustworthy. In some circumstances, they can even seem like the INFJ has lost touch of reality. Whether they're too optimistic, lacking the necessary explanations, or simply too taboo to even be considered, sometimes this incredible ability of theirs earns them the name of being delusional. Number 4. Fluctuating emotions can feel like lack of control. Similar to their stimuli sensitivity, INFJs can experience emotions with such intensity that sometimes it can be mistaken for something greater than just a personality type trait. Despite the disconnection to their own emotions due to their extroverted feeling trait, the INFJ can sense others' emotions to the point of absorbing them as their own. When this happens, Depending on who they're spending their time with, this empathetic type can experience an unexplainable wave of emotions come over them. Without a basic understanding of their extroverted feeling function, these mysterious mood fluctuations can make them feel like they're going crazy. Of course, for the most part, they're usually able to hide these moods behind their reserved demeanor to avoid being questioned. This makes it difficult for others to pick up on this emotional instability and misjudge the root of it. However, for the INFJ themselves, it's not a surprise that they begin questioning whether or not they need to be evaluated for some form of mood disorder, bipolar disorder, or depression. Luckily, once the INFJ gets the hang of their extroverted feeling function, these fluctuations become much more manageable. Number 5. The idealism can seem delusional. Perfectionism, a word the INFJ knows all too well. Rooted in their idealistic nature, this personality type can't help but to envision things with optimism and precision. They not only set out extremely high standards for themselves, but they also apply their idealism to those around them, future outcomes, and life in general. Through their introverted intuitive function that requires them to spend significant time exploring their imaginative thoughts, INFJs tend to see things for what they could be rather than simply accepting them for what they are. Aside from this idealism, INFJs also use their perfectionism in the form of keeping their surroundings orderly and tidy. They can have such high expectations for how things should be that they're seen as delusional in the eyes of those around them. In fact, sometimes they can get so involved in making their surroundings, experiences, and loved ones better that they become distracted in day-to-day life. Besides delusion, these recurring thoughts can even be misinterpreted as obsessive-compulsive. Number 6. Their gift of deep thinking isn't always viewed as intelligence. When the INFJ brain isn't pondering on how things could be better, it's most often lost in analytical thinking and sorting of information they've absorbed through their surroundings. They have an incredible ability to create web-like connections in their minds that lead them to some of the most fascinating solutions, ideas, and findings. Some of these findings are their notorious philosophical perceptions. Most INFJs would agree that their deep interest in existential and philosophical issues stemmed from a very early age, far before they even realized where their mind was taking them. It goes far beyond simply being an interest, and instead seems to be an involuntary draw towards truth-finding. However, their love for asking and analyzing the deeper questions in life, such as where we came from, where we go, and everything in between, doesn't always come off as being so charming to others. Yes, every now and then INFJs will meet a like-minded individual that allows for a knowledge-expanding conversation. Most times, when this deep thinking type lets down their guard and shares their understandings, it can be perceived as being too dark, depressive, nihilistic, or even morbid in nature. And lastly, number 7. Their disinterest in small talk can be misinterpreted. With such interest in the deeper things in life, INFJs have a hard time when it comes to talking about surface-level topics. Bring up the weather, politics, sports, work, and watch as this type slowly drifts off into dreamland. There's nothing more mind-numbing to an INFJ than a conversation that lacks depth and alternative opinions. One INFJ Redditor put this disconnect into words perfectly by saying, "When people are talking about their neighbors or weekend, I just feel internally exasperated. Nothing runs through my head. No opinion, no thoughts, just, okay, cool." Instead, they want to know about people's childhoods, their traumas, their view on the challenges of the world, their interests, their beliefs. They want a look inside their conversational opponent's brain, and without that, there's no chance the INFJ would give them a glimpse inside of theirs. Without this mutual interest in philosophy and deep thinking, this personality type can seem socially awkward, detached, or disinterested. It may even make people assume that they have a neurodevelopmental disorder such as autism or ADD. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, have you mistaken your personality type for some form of mental illness or vice versa? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.